Hello, I'm Stephen Fox. I'm a bankruptcy attorney. I represent businesses in Chapter 11 reorganizations, and I also represent creditors looking to protect their interests in Chapter 11. I represent debtors and creditors throughout the United States, although my offices are located in California. I only recommend bankruptcy if it is the best solution. I have a prejudice. I believe that Chapter 11 is one of the greatest inventions this country has ever come up with. Think about it. Where else can you have a company that has failed? You give it some legal protection, you put it in a place where the company can try different strategies and different things to try to make the company work. The company survives, it grows, it thrives, and then it proposes a plan to pay creditors what the company can afford to pay over a period of time. There's no other system of bankruptcy anywhere on the planet that is as good as our system of bankruptcy. I'm going to talk to you today about COVID-19 and business and what happened during COVID-19. And I'm going to start with a very brief story for you. I was appearing in a court back east, and it was a Chapter 11 day, where the court was calling one business debtor after another, and everything was being done over the phone because of COVID. My client was the last one to be called. It was about number 15 in order. And one after another, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 14, the lawyers speaking for all these different businesses said to the judge, "Your Honor, we can't make the businesses work. COVID is destroying them. We can't make the Chapter 11s work. Shut down the companies, liquidate them." And one after another, the judge did just that. We came to my case, and he said, "Mr. Fox, I assume you want to shut down your business too." And I said, "Heck no. We're in Chapter 11 business reorganization, and we're going to reorganize this company. It doesn't matter if we have COVID-19. We're going to reorganize." So what I want to tell you about today are a couple stories about companies I worked with during COVID-19 and steps that they took with my assistance to survive, to thrive, and to grow despite COVID-19. The first company I'd like to tell you about was a wonderful company, and it still is. It was a plumbing company. It did residential plumbing work. And you can guess what happened to residential plumbing once COVID came in. No one would let the plumbers into their homes. So, working with the owners, working with the team, we strategized through what would be deemed to be an essential business in that state. And we hit upon the fact that not only was septic an essential business, septic work, but also the company had the licenses that were necessary in that state to do septic work. Within a week's time, the company had shifted over to doing septic work and was busy. We had helped the company locate another septic truck for it to use, arranged for the purchase, and now this company was going full steam ahead doing septic work. Within a few months, instead of having 30 plus plumbers, it had 4 plumbers and a lot of septic people. That company is doing well today. It didn't shut down like those other 14 businesses I was telling you about at that court hearing by phone. Let me tell you about 2 more companies. These are recycling companies. The first one was in a state that was totally shut down when COVID-19 hit. It had a large facility. It recycled metals. It got its metals in part from the general public, but mostly from businesses that had excess materials, typically with construction. When COVID-19 hit, businesses in the state were shut down, and metal recycling was not considered to be a vital business. It was not essential. So working with the owner of the company, we went through page after page, and it took quite a bit of time to figure out what essential business the recycling facility could do so that it could stay open and make some money and survive. And we found it. Trash hauling. Why? The recycling business had large trucks. It had the ability to haul trash. With COVID-19, there was a sudden shortage of dump trucks and trash trucks. So this recycling facility for a couple of months became a trash hauling company. Was it a great solution? No. But it paid the bills. It allowed the company to keep its employees until the state opened up. Businesses were allowed to open again, and our other strategies for metal recycling could have the time to succeed. It was a good result despite COVID, and despite the fact that so many businesses around the recycling facility shut down. This facility stayed open and it did well. Let me tell you about a second recycling facility. It didn't recycle metals. It recycles concrete and asphalt. And it's a really neat business with really big machines. And it costs a lot of money to run these businesses. However, the owner of the company didn't have a lot of experience on the business side of the business. And so the owner had made a lot of mistakes over time. And I took this company into Chapter 11 during COVID. And people in that area of the country, the bankruptcy attorneys, were looking at me like I was crazy for taking a company into Chapter 11 reorganization during COVID. But I know that when times are tough, that can be the best time to go into Chapter 11. All sorts of reasons. The judges are sympathetic. The creditors are sympathetic because they know times are hard. So we took it in. And the hardest part was not the reorganization on the legal side. It was getting the company to work properly. And with the team, we worked on a lot of different changes. We worked on marketing. We worked on advertising. We worked on upping the average size drop-off of products or the average size order for pickup of products in order to increase the revenues coming in while keeping the costs constant. We found costs that could be eliminated. We made all sorts of changes. We improved the accounting, the financial reporting. We taught the owner a lot about how to run the business. We also taught him something else that was very important, and I worked a lot with him on this. It was how to hold one's head up high, despite the fact of the Chapter 11, and despite the criticism the competitors and others were giving him. And he, after a while, could sincerely hold his head up high because he understood that with his hard work, his long hours of working, his faith in himself, his faith in the team around him, and his faith in a power higher than him, that he could do it. And he did. Today, the company is doing well, and the owner has a lot to be proud of. COVID-19 was not a message that businesses should shut down and that Chapter 11s would fail. COVID-19 was a message that we had to work harder and smarter to make things work. I like to say that I fight for my clients, and I really do. I think it's important, and I make sure that the owners of the companies fight for their companies as well. My experience allows me to understand different opportunities that perhaps the owner may sort of know about but doesn't realize are available. What makes me different from most of the other Chapter 11 attorneys out there is that I believe that a successful reorganization means that the business has reorganized. Most attorneys doing Chapter 11 business reorganization believe that a successful reorganization is a court-approved plan. My opinion is you can have the best plan in the world, but if you have a failed company, all you really have is a failed plan and a failed business. I have over 30 years experience doing Chapter 11 business reorganization work. If you think that your company may be on the road to bankruptcy, pick up the phone and call me. Email me. Let's talk. It won't hurt. The next video is a fun video. It's on a few more stories about COVID-19, and I'm hoping that this video and the next video will give you some ideas about how you can start to reorganize your company. Take care.